Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first session for NEBOSH IGC. Today's session is going to be an introductory session. We are not going to go through any of the course syllabus today because today I want you guys to understand what NEBOSH actually is. There is a lot of misconception about NEBOSH in the market, and people don't know NEBOSH very well. So basically, NEBOSH, I want you to remember that NEBOSH is not the title of the course that you are doing. Okay. If anybody asks you which qualification you are doing, don't say I'm doing NEBOSH. Okay. NEBOSH is the name of the awarding body. Okay. NEBOSH is the awarding body which is going to give you this certificate. NEBOSH is not the name of the course itself. Okay. So the title of the course that you are about to do is the International General Certificate in Occupational Safety and Health. So this is the course that you are doing or the qualification that you are going to achieve after completion of this session. Okay. In short, in layman's language, you can call it NEBOSH IGC. So if anybody asks you what certification or what health and safety qualification you have, you can say that you have the International General Certificate in Occupational Safety and Health from NEBOSH, or in short, you can say that you have the NEBOSH IGC in health and safety. Okay. Um, and it is also very, very important to remember what NEBOSH actually stands for. A lot of people don't even know what NEBOSH stands for. So the full form of NEBOSH is the National Examination Board for Occupational Safety and Health. Okay. It is an health education board. It is an awarding body. Just like in many other countries, in Abu Dhabi, you have the headache. Okay. Similarly, in other countries, in India and Pakistan, in India, there is a CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. They award qualification. In Pakistan, you have FBSE, Federal Board of Secondary Education. Okay. Then you have the technical boards, Punjab Technical Board, which awards associate diplomas and all that. So similarly, NEBOSH is not the name of a certification or a course. NEBOSH is the name of the examination board which is going to give you this qualification. So NEBOSH is the National Examination Board for Occupational Safety and Health, and it is based in the UK, in United Kingdom. So this is the Health and Safety Education Board of United Kingdom, that is NEBOSH, and they are going to award you the certification or the qualification which is called IGC, or International General Certificate in Occupational Safety and Health. Okay. This is very, very important to remember, guys. I often, when obviously I'm in a corporate position, I hire a lot of people. When I hire people, I often ask them the full form of NEBOSH. And believe me, there were some, candidates who I have rejected because they did not know what NEBOSH actually means. So whenever we do a certification or a qualification, whatever we do, we need to get into the details and understand what this actually means and what it actually is. Okay, just keeping NEBOSH in mind and saying that that does not, what you call it, lead to being a professional in health and safety. You need to understand in depth whatever you are studying, whatever you are going to go through. You need to have an in-depth understanding of this. Okay. So NEBOSH IGC is the NEBOSH International General Certificate in Occupational Safety and Health. Okay, so we have completed the trainer introduction and we have also completed the attendees introduction. So let's move on from this. Okay, the IGC structure, NEBOSH IGC, or the International General Certificate, it basically consists of two units. Okay, it consists of two units. First unit, it is known as IG1. The abbreviation or the course code, okay, this is the course code and this is IG1. So the first unit or IG1, it is related to management of health and safety. Now in this unit, there's a small introduction to health and safety and we are going to discuss how we can manage health and safety in the workplace. Okay. So in unit number 1, we are going to discuss about management of health and safety in the workplace. And management of health and safety in the workplace unit will be assessed by an OBE, open book examination. I will discuss further about this open book examination shortly. The second unit is called risk assessment. And in the second unit, we are going to discuss about workplace hazards and controls. Okay. So we're going to discuss about what are the things in the workplace that can cause harm to people, what are the dangers in the workplace, and how we can control those dangers, how we can control those hazards. So anything which can cause harm to people, that is known as a hazard, and we have to protect our people from hazard. Okay. Now, as I told you guys, this is the NEBOSH International General Certificate in Occupational Safety and Health. So what does occupational means? Occupation means your job. Okay. Occupation is your job, and occupational means related to your job. Okay. Occupational means job related. So we are going to talk about health and safety, which is job related, or aspects of your job that can influence your health and safety. Now, there is a slight difference between health and safety as well. What do you mean by health? Health basically means being free from illnesses or diseases. So if you are free from ill health, okay, if you are free from diseases, we can say that you are healthy. So when we talk about occupational health, we talk about the various hazards in the workplace that can cause diseases or that can affect your health. For example, if you are working in a woodwork machinery, there is wood dust. If you inhale wood dust, you can have lung cancer. So that is affecting your health. So all the hazards related to your health, that is falling under the health part. Then there is occupational safety. Occupational safety refers to physical injuries. Okay. So safety, it refers to physical injuries. For example, if you are working in a construction site and there are falling objects and one object falls on your head or shoulder and it creates a cut and you start bleeding, you get physical injury. Okay. So safety deals with protection against physical injuries. So health and safety, there's a slight difference between them. Both, there are health hazards and there are safety hazards as well. Health hazard can cause diseases, whereas safety hazards cause physical injuries. Okay. So we are going to discuss this further. I'm not going to go in a lot of detail on these at the moment. But currently, I want you to understand there are two units for NEBOSH IGC. The first unit, as I told you, is related to management of health and safety, and it is going to be assessed on an open book examination, OBE. Okay. And as the name suggests, open book examination, it means that you can open your books in the exam. Okay. But don't think it's very easy. It is tough, but I will guide you through it and how you can make it easy. And for the IG2, for Unit 2, there is no exam. Okay. For Unit 2, there is no exam, but you have to prepare an assignment. Okay. For IG2, you have to prepare an assignment, and that assignment will be your risk assessment of your workplace. Okay. So IG2 assignment is a risk assessment. So basically what you have to do is you have to prepare a risk assessment of your workplace or any workplace. So you simply have to prepare a risk assessment. There is a certain template, a format which you need to fill in which you will identify hazards, who might be harmed and how, and control measures. So you have to fill it in. Okay. I will share with you the details of the format later on during the course. Okay, so this was the structure of the course. Now let's get into a little detail. As I told you, unit number one, management of health and safety, or IG1. It is going to talk about managing health and safety management systems. Okay. So basically, unit IG1 is going to be discussing about management of health and safety and will be assessed by a question paper. And as I told you, that will be an open book examination. You will get a question paper during the exam. This unit consists of 4 elements or 4 chapters. Element number 1 or chapter number 1 is about why we should manage health and safety in the workplace. So in this element or in this chapter, we are going to discuss the reasons for managing health and safety. Why do we need to manage health and safety? We are going to discuss about the moral or the humanitarian reasons for managing health and safety. Because if you are an employer and there are people working for you who are making you money, so it is immoral and inhuman that they should get injured at work. So that is the moral reason of managing health and safety. We're also going to talk about legal reasons for managing health and safety. In almost every country, there is a law which talks about the protection of the workers against workplace hazards. Similarly, in UAE, we also have certain laws that talk about protecting the workers against workplace hazards. So these are the legal reasons for managing health and safety. If you don't manage health and safety, you can face the repercussions of the law. You can be jailed, you can be fined, and many other things. So then there are financial reasons for managing health and safety. So moral, legal, and financial. Financially, obviously, if you don't manage health and safety, there will be accidents, people will get injured, company is going to lose a lot of money. So these are the reasons for managing health and safety. And then we'll discuss the roles and responsibilities as well in element number 1. Then we have element number 2 or chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 is about how health and safety management systems work and what they look like. So in this chapter, we're going to discuss what is a management system, what are the elements of a management system. So we are talking about policy, we're going to talk about organization, we're going to talk about risk management, we're going to talk about incident investigation, auditing, management review. So all of these things we will discuss in the health and safety management system. Then we have element number 3. Element number 3 is the biggest chapter or the biggest element of IG1. And in this chapter, we're going to talk about managing risks. So we're going to talk about understanding people and processes, and we're going to talk about how to manage health and safety risks. Finally, we have element number 4. Element number 4 is regarding health and safety monitoring and measuring. So we are going to talk about the proactive and the reactive monitoring, leading and lagging indicators. We're going to talk about incident investigation, inspections, auditing, review, and all that. So that is the element number 4. So total, there are 4 chapters in IG1. And as I told you, IG1 will be assessed on an open book examination. And the details of the examination I will share with you guys in 5 minutes. Okay, then we have unit number 2. Second unit, as I told you guys, is about risk assessment. And IG2 is going to be assessed by a practical assessment or an assignment in which you have to prepare a risk assessment of your workplace. So as I told you, in a risk assessment, you simply identify the hazards and you mention control measures about those hazards. So basically in the risk assessment, you're going to identify 10 hazards in your workplace and you're going to identify control measures for those hazards. This chapter, it has 7 elements. So the first element or element number 5 talks about physical and psychological health, in which we're going to discuss about noise, vibration, radiation, and other physical hazard and psychological hazards as well. We're also going to talk about mental ill health, stress at the workplace, violence at the workplace, and other psychological issues. Then we have element number 6, which is regarding musculoskeletal health. The name seems difficult, but it's very, very easy. Musculo comes from muscles and skeletal comes from the skeleton. So basically, the hazards which can affect your skeletal system or the muscles which are joining your skeletal system, that is known as musculoskeletal system. So we're going to talk about hazards which can cause harm to your musculoskeletal health. Then element number 7 is regarding chemical and biological agents. So we are going to talk about the various hazardous substances and what their effects can be in your health and how we can control them. Then element number 8 is regarding general workplace issues like housekeeping, arrangement of proper workplace and all that. Then we have work equipment hazards. So every equipment, it has its own hazards and own controls as well. So we need to talk about those hazards. Then we have element number 10, and element number 10 deals with fire. So we're going to discuss about what are the hazards of fire, what is fire safety, what is fire protection, fire prevention, how we can protect people from fire. And finally, chapter number 11 or element number 11 is going to be about electricity. Electricity again is one of the most common hazards in the workplace, and people can get injured very, very easily from electricity as well. So guys, these are the chapters or elements of unit IG2. And again, reminding you, IG2 has no exam, but you do have to prepare an assignment or a practical assessment, which is known as the risk assessment assignment. Okay. So you'll have to do a risk assessment or a risk assessment of your workplace or any other workplace. Okay. So I'll discuss in detail further during the classes, how you will do that. Okay, now coming to the examination in detail, unit IG1, as I told you, it is what you call it, going to be an open book examination. It is going to be an OBE. Your open book examination or OBE exam for unit IG1, it is scheduled for the 5th of October. Okay, so your exam is going to be on the 5th of October, and you will have 24 hours to complete this paper. Okay. So you will get the paper at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on the 5th of October, and you will have to submit it at 2 p.m. on 6th of October. This is UAE time, guys. UAE time. So you will have one complete day, 24 hours to complete this paper. And basically this paper is going to be a question paper. You will be given a scenario and you will be asked various questions from the scenario. And while answering the question, you can open your books, but remember, you can open the books, but do not copy paste. If you start writing word for word in your answers, that is known as plagiarism, and that can lead to you being blacklisted from NEBOSH. Okay, so please do not to call it copy paste anything, and because it will result in plagiarism, and plagiarism carries very, very heavy penalties. Okay, so what you can do is you can write in your own words. You can read the question, read the scenario, and then you can go to the books and write the answer in your own words after reading from the book. Okay, so that's the benefit of an open book examination. Second IG2 assessment is going to be a risk assessment assignment. You will have to submit these 7 days or 1 week after the exam. So the deadline for IG2 is going to be the 12th, sorry, 7, 5, yeah, 12th of October. Okay, so risk assessment you will submit on the 12th of October. Exam is on 5th of October. IG1, 5th October, IG2, 12th October. So this is the exam structure. Now let's discuss a little further. Okay, so as I told you, IG1 examination, it is going to be a written paper. And by written, I don't mean handwritten. You have to type it on your computer. Okay, type in a computer. So basically what you will get on the day of the exam, you will get a question paper. Okay, You will get a question paper and you will also get an answer sheet as well. This answer sheet is going to be in Word, MS Word, Microsoft Word. I hope everyone knows how to use the computer and Microsoft Word, because once you download the question paper is going to be in PDF, but the answer sheet is going to be in Word, and you have to type your answers in that answer sheet. Okay. So by written paper, I don't mean handwritten. It means that you have to type in a Word file. As I told you, it is an online open book examination, but you only need to remain online to download the paper and to upload the paper. That's it. So basically, once you are registered, around 10 days before the exam, 10 days before exam, you guys will receive a username and password. Okay. So 10 days before the exam, you will get a username and password. And using that username and password, you can log into the NEBOSH website. Okay. So NEBOSH learning portal is there. I will share the link with you once you get that username and password. Then in this learning portal, you can put in that username and password that is given to you by NEBOSH 10 days before the exam, and you can log in. Once you log in, you will be able to download your paper and answer sheet, and then you will have to upload it after 24 hours. Okay. So it's a written paper or typed paper. It is an online open book examination. So you have to go online to download and upload your answer sheet, and you can search the internet. You can open your books and you can take this examination from your homes. And the best thing is you can do it anywhere in the world. Okay. You don't have to be in a certain place or a certain country or a certain area. You can do it from anywhere in the world. Okay. So that is going to be the best thing about it. You can do it from your homes. So the question paper is going to have a scenario. Scenario means they will create a real situation, real life situation, in which they are going to give you information about the company, the hazards and all that. And then they will ask you certain questions. Those questions are called scenario based questions, and you will have to refer to the scenario where it is stated, and you can look for answers in the books and the internet as well. But the important thing is do not copy paste. Very, very important. I am reminding again and again. Do not copy word by word. You can read and you can write in your own words. Okay. And the marking is very, very interesting as well. So basically, during the marking, the examiners they will award 1 mark for each correct technical point which is clearly demonstrated. So if the question carries 10 marks, you need to mention at least 10 points in your answer, and each point must be clearly demonstrated. Okay. So you need to mention 10 points in your answer, and each point must be clearly demonstrated in at least 2 to 3 lines. Okay. So once you have completed this paper, there will be a closing interview after that as well. So there will be a closing interview of 15 minutes, and the interviewers they are going to be from our institute itself, TWI Institute, and those interviewers they are going to ask you at least 2 to 3 questions from the paper that you have submitted. Okay. There is no marks for this interview. There is no pass or fail for this interview. This interview is only conducted to confirm whether you did the paper yourself or not. Okay. So that is the exam structure for unit number 1. Then you have IG2, which is the risk assessment. So basically in the IG2, there is no exam. Okay. And you will have to prepare a risk assessment of your workplace. So basically in this assignment, you have to identify at least 10 hazards. Sorry. So basically you have to identify 10 hazards. One second, guys. So the risk assessment of your workplace will have to be carried out. and you will have to identify 10 hazards from 5 different hazard categories. It is to be submitted at 1 week after your examination. So as I told you, IG1 is 5th of October and IG2 will be 12th of October. Okay. Again, important thing to remember is that there is no grading or marks for IG2. There is no grading or marks for IG2. It's only pass or fail. So there is a certain criteria which NEBOSH have identified. So if you meet all the points in the criteria, you will be passed. Even if you don't comply with 1 point, you will be failed. Okay. So make sure you pay attention when you are doing this. Again, the important thing and the main point I want to focus again, that do not copy paste anything. I will share with you guys the what you call it, assignment examples and template and everything, but please do not copy paste anything from that. Okay, you need to write in your own words. So guys, that is the examination structure for NEBOSH IGC Unit 1 and 2. Now passing marks. How are you going to pass? For the Unit 1 exam, IG1 exam, the passing marks are 45%. So out of 100, you need to get 45 marks out of 100 in order to pass. Okay. Now your grading is based on these marks which you are getting in IG1. So if you are less than 45 from 0 to 44, you will be referred. Refer means that you have failed. Refer means fail. Then if you get 45 to 64, you will be pass. 65 to 74, you will pass with credit. And more than 75%, you will get distinction. Okay. So this is the grading criteria of NEBOSH IGC. If you don't pass the exam, you can take it again within 5 years of passing the IG2 practical assignment. So there is no limit. You can appear as many times as you want, but once you pass IG2, you have to pass IG1 within 5 years of the first unit. Okay, guys, so that is the end of the NEBOSH IGC introduction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this recording with you guys on the group, and please make sure you go through this recording so you understand the exact NEBOSH IGC structure. And I'm going to share with you guys the books as well online. There will be soft copy, and I will share with you guys link for next week's class. So the classes, they will happen every weekend, and I will share with you the exact details of those classes. So now, do you guys have any questions related to this, what you call it, introduction? If you do have any questions, please go ahead and ask.